started. Oh, yes, we do. So we should be underway in just a couple seconds here.
All right, so we've already got some bombs from Link's house. We are underway.
Definitely not the worst thing to find in the escape sequence, although not exactly the best either. We are going to at least be guaranteed seeing what chests are hidden in the little side room.
Ooh, the uncle gives us the fire rod right off the start. This should be fun.
We're trying to work out the audio issues on the back end here, so if they can't hear me, hopefully that'll be fixed in the near future. Hopefully we'll have everything all synced up as well.
Just 20 rupees in that first chest there once we get down into the base.
Yeah, for now, it's just a matter of getting through the escape sequence. With the bombs, there's no real need to farm for anything. It's really just a matter of getting to Zelda's jail cell, navigating the sewers, and coming out through the sanctuary. And it looks like a piece of heart in the side room.
Let's see what Princess Zelda has for us in her chest. It's nice that they give you a chest in your prison cell. There's the small key.
It looks like she was trying to plan an escape of her own with that key she was hiding there.
You know, she doesn't need our help. Let's just let Zelda take care of this whole thing.
Exactly. And it looks like we're going to have a couple of the runners freeze for a quick second, so that way everything's starting to get synced up. No mind, that is perfectly normal, and the timer should be synced up now, so that the runner plays hopefully at the same time.
Yep, that looked pretty synced now. We've got Blaine out front by, you know, a couple steps. Not a really big deal at this point.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you cross the finish line first by the nose of a car or 10 car lengths. First is first.
True that.
So now I think it's just a matter of finding the key to proceed forward. Stopping to pick up a burrito in a chest. Not sure I really trust that, but hey.
Yeah, I think I would probably avoid that if possible. We did find the first key earlier in, I believe, that first chest here. So we've got to get the one from the mouse over here on the left, and then we can see what is in the back of Escape.
And right now, we're going to see what's in the back of Escape. Blaine, the first to reveal what's behind door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3.
Not a whole lot, but that 300 rupees early on is pretty nice.
That is true. That was this. I guess we could call that a saving grace of sorts, but that was definitely a unspectacular group of 3 chests there. The Zora investment program may work out, it may not. We don't know.
Wayne is going to give us our first look at the Sanctuary chest here. Another big 20. Plenty of rupees to pay the bottle vendor and invest in various other scams around the kingdom.
Yeah, very true. Do you almost consider trying for
We had a map
Houlihan
check
room?
there. We had a map check there. We had a green crystal on, or excuse me, a green pendant on Hera, a normal crystal on Eastern. I did not see what was on Desert. Looks like another crystal. I would consider a Houlihan here, I suppose. Although I would wait and see. I'd probably go all the way through Kakariko to see what, if anything, I pick up, and then Houlihan if necessary. Looks like Cassidy is going to give us a look at. We got a tree pole for bombs. We had arrows from the bush crab, and is going to give us our lumberjack check here. Oh, the moon pearl in the Lost Woods there. Just a big 20 on the lumberjack as well.
Well, starting to see the aga part of this seed dangle away on life support. But having that moon pearl, that's going to be a pretty good solid start for our runners here.
Definitely. Bwayne saves and quits and hops down to do the South Shore checks, which is interesting, before going to Kakariko Village. Let's see what is in the dam here. We've got a bottle with a red potion.
Wow.
That's nice to have.
Blaine got the 200 IQ strats going on here, picking up a bottle before heading into Kakariko. So that might help him out in the future. If for no other reason than, well, the sick kid.
Oh, there's the hook shot and the hook shot and boomerang, a big 20, and another big 20 in Blind's basement. That early hook shot is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the star of the show so far.
Bwayne is going over to give us an early desert check going to Agnes Cave, probably the ledge as well.
Now, I'm not so sure I like this part of Bwayne's strategy here, but with the bombs, why not? You're going to end up going out of your way, most likely, no matter what.
Well, just a piece of heart, so that didn't quite pay off for him. But at least you're clearing it. It looks like the Gus picked up the hammer. That must have been, and the gloves there, and we can say goodbye to Aghanim. It looks like.
Yeah, Dark World, here we come. Get your travel agent. Tickets are on sale.
Bottle vendor not helping out today.
But I think that Kakariko well was pretty noteworthy. It looks like Mini Moldorm Cave for Cassidy Moan. So far, red cane.
There's the Cane of Samaria. Big get there. He's going to save and quit out. Not going to walk over to Ice Rod Cave. But the cane paying off. They got to get their butts over to Kakariko Village, though.
Yeah, Blaine's going to pick up his Cane of Samaria as well. It looks like Cassidy Moan has something else in mind.
Oh, that's interesting. Heading over towards Eastern before going to Kakariko. Very, very interesting.
I don't think they would have possibly have had a hint of any kind, so this is a Sahasrah's hut visit. And it looks like not entirely in any rational sequence, because...
Oh, but there's the ice rod. All right. So that's pretty good. At least we won't have to go hunt for that thing.
Oh. Things have changed in the couple weeks I've been gone. But that ice rod, until we know what Turtle Rock is, it may not even matter. So that medallion Blaine just picked up in the
As you
ice
see the
palace
ether
cave.
medallion there in the ice rod cave, the race game just had 50 rupees.
And it looks like Gus is on a similar trajectory to Cassidy Moan. But Gus, at least, has cleared out parts of Kakariko. Cassidy Moan about to get the bad news on the race game reward.
Yeah, neither Blaine nor Cassidy has been to Kakariko yet. Blaine's still putting it off. Cassidy is making their way through there right now with the that's too bad. Swagnet on the library. Probably will not be seeing that today.
Well, with Ognum out of the way, you don't need his most feared weapon, so yeah, we're probably not going to see our runners go back and picking up the net.
Cassidy's going to give us our first look at the sick kid here, as neither Gus nor Fatboy had a bottle when they passed through Kakariko Village. Let's see what he has for us today. Oh, it's a big 20. Womp womp.
A 20 rupee tip for, a simple chore like that. I'm okay with it.
We did just get a Dark World check there from Fatboy. I believe I saw the red crystals on Swamp and Ice, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you happen to see what Turtle Rock was, real quick?
I did not before it went away.
Well, now we're going to see the chess game. Another, just a piece of heart in the treasure hunt in the Dark World.
Yeah, it looked like, Turtle Rock and Palace of Darkness were our blue and red pendants. So thanks for nothing, Ice Rock.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate trek for the Ice Rod Cave. Or excuse me, not the Ice Rod Cave, but the Ice Rod itself.
Yeah, that was over. The Ice Rod was over in Sahasrah's hut, which, is going to be a location that people are going to check anyway. So it's not super out of it.
It looks like Cassidy Moan got the hint that the Hookshot and Bloomerang were in Kakariko. And Cassidy Moan is clearing out Blind's hut as we speak. Blaine is working on the bottom half.
Looks like there's a little delay on Fatboy's stream, which is too bad. They are the only one of our runners right here who is showing us anything new right now in Thievestown already. Hopefully that gets squared away soon on their end.
Yeah, the
as
hammer.
Blaine picks up his hammer.
Yeah, it was
looks like Cassidy also making their way into the Dark World, so we should be able to see some more of those checks here momentarily.
Well, a little too early to check a ped. We don't have the book quite yet. But it looks like Cassidy Moan's on their way into the Village of Outcasts. I would not be surprised if Cassidy didn't have a go at Mothula right now, with the fire rod already in the inventory.
Having that fire rod definitely makes that look like a more enticing play as Gus heads into Hype Cave, or the cave formerly known as Hype, depending. Got a big 20 from Batman there. Got a shield, the Arrow of Destiny, the Magic Cape, and the Silver Arrows. You know, that was reasonably hype, I have to say.
Yeah, that
I'll
was
give that
pretty good.
I'll
I
give
mean,
that like a 6.5.
I'm
So
actually
I'm
gonna
not very
go.
good. So
I'm gonna
for
say
me, the
7.
Silver Arrows are very hype.
I mean,
So
3 unique items in the Hype Cave, that's at least a 7 in my book. I mean, that one of the
that is
unique
true.
items was the single arrow, but hey, it's a unique item nonetheless.
Gets it out of the item pool. We had Chad is pointing out that you can't. None of them have a sword yet, so they won't be able to get to Amothula in Skull Woods.
Very true.
As we saw Cassidy pick up the mushroom in the brewery, the bombable hut in the bottom of the village of Outcasts, in a heart container there in C-shaped hut.
Yeah, so Cassidy Moan might. Well, we're going to see another Thieves Town. It looks like Fat Boy, before technical difficulties, was in Thieves Town, but I guess did not find anything in those initial 4 chests, and is now in the Hype Cave picking up
I don't know, but
silvers and the cape.
Fat Boy has boots, so I wonder if those weren't in Thieves Town. There they are. Yep, Cassidy just shows us the boots there. So here we go. It's time to go fast.
Well, if you're not first, you're last. So let's see what else we have here in Thieves Town. Is Cassidy, I believe this is the 3rd chest. Oh, that's the big key. And this should be chest number 4. Oh, a lantern. We have ourselves a fire source.
That's pretty nice. Fat Boy has the mitts, so it seems like those are probably farther down in Thieves Town as well. But as he was able to just show us. Oh, and Blaine does too. So looks like we're a little behind on those gloves there. That's okay. As Fat Boy showed us King's Tomb, that was just a piece of heart. Shows us Bonk Rocks now. Just a big 20 there. Mitts, we're a digging game. Thank you guys. 1 dig. Oh man.
Well, that's a quick one. Blaine picking up our mushroom. So we
have everything that we need to do fake powder now if they find themselves back in Kakariko Village.
Yeah, it looks like Blaine is going to have a go probably at the hammer pegs here. He cannot jet his way through with the boots glitch, lacking the boots, so he's going the old-fashioned route of knocking each one down.
And boy, does it not pay off there.
No, 10 arrows when you already have full arrows. Old man.
And an unfortunate decision, really, considering the boots were in Thieves Town. As Fat Boy gets 50 rupees from the old man, he's our first runner to head up Death Mountain.
Yeah, that should be pretty rewarding. Cassidy Moan looks to be continuing through Thieves Town. So, a full clear of Thieves Town on Cassidy Moan's mind right now?
It seems that way. If you're comfortable with hammer strats on blind, there's really no reason not to do it there.
I mean, it's not exactly a pointy weapon, but you know, blunt force trauma is still a effective way of solving problems.
Yeah, and it's looking like Fat Boy found our first sword of the seed in Spectacle Rock Cave as he picks that up. Gus gets his boots. Blaine right behind to pick up his boots. Everybody's going fast now. This is speed gaming after all. It's not like, amble gaming.
Yeah, no slow gates, no Sunday drivers. This is definitely pedal to the metal gaming at its finest.
Cassidy has the maiden in tow and is heading in to give us the Thieves Town Big Chest, 300 rupees for his trouble.
Well, that should put Cassidy Moan in position to handle everything rupee-wise with that second 300 drop.
Yep, they're up at 800 something there. Fat Boy is giving us our Paradox Cave checks. Got 50 rupees and a piece of heart so far. As Cassidy prepares to do a hammer blind fight, always fun. By always, I mean never for me, because again, as previously mentioned, not very good at this.
Well, I think take some notes and you can hopefully study going forward here.
Oh, it was a nice, just missed taking a hit that would have knocked him out and got that red potion out of the way.
And it looks like this is going to be the can taking it the rest of the way. The hammer's probably a little too dangerous to play around with. Such close
showing
range
us some
on the
pause
blind.
buffering. Oh, and there we go. Nicely done there by Cassidy. Looks like Fat Boy found the flute in Paradox Cave. That is a nice find. Not sure what happened. Gus took a death there. I'm not sure where. Or maybe it was a death warp. That's possible, I suppose. Oh, yep. Looks like it was probably a death warp.
That's exactly what it was. He wanted to get back into this area. Looks like Cassidy might... No Jeremiah. So it looks like digging game for Cassidy here. Blaine
he will get his mitts out of that. Fat Boy gives us just a piece of heart over there in Spiral Cave.
Yeah, Blaine should be our second recipient of a crystal. I do not know if Fat Boy happened to finish Thieves Town while we were experiencing technical difficulties with his stream. So if he happens to open his inventory, we won't know until that point if he picked up Thieves Town or not. And it looks like Cassidy tried to go with the dash strats with the hammer, but as chat pointed out earlier, can't do it without a sword. You just bonk right off of the pegs.
Oh, as Fat Boy finds the mirror in Super Bunny Cave. That is a real nice place to find that.
Yeah, Fat Boy should be very close to unlocking pretty much the entirety of the map. Have the mirror, the moon pearl, and activating the flute in the near future. Oh, we just saw Turtle Rock as well.
And that's going to need Ether, which at least Blaine already has. Blaine and Gus both have Ether.
Ether was Agina's cave? It was in one of those early out-of-the-way checks that Blaine did.
Yeah, it's certainly shaping up. Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon, of course, but we already have everything that we need to complete it. At least we know where it is. Thank you. The Ether was over in Ice Rod Cave.
Ah, yes.
So it's going to be real interesting to see. There really seems to be pointing us towards a dip into Pendant TR, which is never really what you want. But if we're reading what the seed is giving us, it seems like that is definitely an option here.
Well, I think I would be looking at every other potential avenue before going into a pendant dungeon, especially one like Turtle Rock. But
absolutely. As Fat Boy takes
Trimax-
out his flute, please rise for our national anthem.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we have Gus's audio going right now, so unfortunately we won't be able to hear the playing of our national anthem right now.
Yeah. Fat Boy also did pick up Blue Mail there in Hookshot Cave, I believe. Shout out to our trackers, by the way, Relkin and Edgeworth. Thank you for your hard work. Give them a follow on Twitch as well.
And it looks like Cassidy Moan not too pleased with what was on the pyramid. I believe Bumper Cave was also nothing spectacular. I believe it was bombs, as Wayne had previously checked that, as we see Gus finishing off blind.
A little bit of sync here between Bwayne and Cassidy Moen. Bwayne just picked up that piece of heart that was in Bonk Rocks, is checking Lumberjack right now. I imagine Cassidy and both of these guys, once they've finished their other things over here. I thought maybe he's doing King's Tomb first, but I thought both of those gentlemen are probably going to be heading up towards Death Mountain before too long here.
Now, it looks like Fat Boy went back into Thieves Town, so I can only assume at this point that he did not originally pick up the crystal from that dungeon.
No, it certainly seems not. I think Indigo asks who is in the lead. I think it is really too early to tell. I think they'll all have one crystal before too long, but they're doing a whole bunch of different stuff running around, so I think it is too early to tell who is in the lead. As Gus is going to give us a Jeremiah was a bullfrog check right over here. Oh no, he's going to be a minute. He doesn't have the mirror yet, so he's going to do his hammer pegs first. If I had to pick somebody to be in the lead, and again, this is not gospel by any stretch of the imagination, I would say Cassidy. As Cassidy has that first crystal from Thieves Town and is headed up into Death Mountain. Although Bwayne is there too, so really hard to say.
Now, see, I would have said it was either Bwayne or Gus, but again, it's kind of difficult to say because it is so early, and with the runners diverging their routes early on, you can't really say, did one runner go the right way as opposed to another runner going in a less right way?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Considering that regardless of where they went, everybody found something useful. It's not like anybody completely struck out there. Bwayne is going to give us, try to give us here a Spike Cave check without half magic, with only 3.5 hearts. Can he get it?
Oh yeah!
Just barely. And a piece of heart for trouble.
And he gets a quarter of a heart for his reward. And it looks like Cassidy Moan has found a pointy object. Let's see if they're able to properly use the sharp end of it to... It looks like Bwayne's going to head over to the eastern side of Death Mountain.
Makes sense. You got the hook shot. You're there. This is the time to do it. You've already got the mitts as well, and it's going to pay off here.
Now, I'm almost wondering if he actually goes into Turtle Rock at this point. Because he has everything. If he were to end up wandering that far over, he'll find a pointy object while doing his little spelunking in the caves right now. Gus looks like he's going to set up a fake powder, so we'll see what the bat has in store for us.
$300 rupees. Not great, Bob.
No. Now, is that all 300 rupee drops accounted for already?
I believe we have seen all of those, yeah.
So now Blaine looks like he's picking up his pointy object. Fat Boy is going to finish off Thieves Town, so that's our first crystal for all 4 runners. And it'll be interesting to see if Blaine and or Cassidy continue their ascent up Death Mountain. Or I should
Looks
say
like Fat
Dark
Boy
Death
is going to give
Mountain.
us a Mire check and probably jump into Desert. That is full clearable. Mire is also locked by Ether. So Ether is required.
Let's see. So that means Ice Palace is open for business. We have the fire rod, so that's definitely.
Well, they'll need to find the flippers first. That is certainly a problem. I guess they could fake flippers over there, but as we find Quake on the desert ledge.
Fat Boy's gonna have a go at Desert Palace here. Does he have everything? Well, he can get into it. That's a start.
Yeah, that's full clearable at this point. Blaine found a nice hint there in Tower of Hera saying that we don't need to deal with Gary's chest today, just some bombs. And then Desert Palace is boots locked today, but all 4 of our runners found their boots pretty early on.
Yeah, so that's definitely not an issue, although it certainly could have been in different circumstances.
Our first item in Desert, just a big 20. And the second one, just a big 20. Or, excuse me, that was Tower of Hera now. I'm going back and forth here. So, Blaine finds a big 20 there in the Tower of Hera big chest. We're going to get some hammer strats on Moldorm, my favorite.
Now, see, this is part of why I was speculating Blaine could potentially be in the lead. Is we have the potential for Blaine to pick up a second crystal now, which, well, by proxy would put him ahead 2 crystals to 1 compared
Certainly
to the rest of our restreamed runners.
And he's got that's true because Fat Boy noped off of Death Mountain without completing the Tower of Hera.
Well, he might be able to finish off Desert Palace, which
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's a good point. No, Tower of Hera is the green pendant, so he didn't get the crystal. He does have the green pendant there. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah, I didn't stop to actually see what dropped from Moldorm. I should not quite get ahead of myself now, should I? Oh well.
Gus is now our final runner to pick up a sword.
I will take S words for 500, please, Alex. Now, here's the question. With Blaine picking up the green pendant, does he at any point go back over toward Eastern Palace? Or I should more say, in the very near future, head over to Eastern Palace? Or is it a matter of having to find that bow first before finding...
Given the fact that Pod is a pendant, I feel like you're probably going to do a bunch of other stuff first looking for that bow, I would imagine. That was really slick there by Gus, killing all 3 of the mini Moldorms there. Blaine is heading into Turtle Rock next.
Well, he's opening the door. We don't know if he's going in there, but
That's true. If you open it, I'd at least pop in there to check the hint. But
I can agree with that. Yeah, it makes sense to do that, but it looks like Fat Boy's finished off Desert Palace, so that's Thieves Town and Desert Palace for Fat Boy now. So that's 2 crystals on his side, I believe.
Wayne was just hopping over to do Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot. I imagine that they might hop back over into Turtle Rock here afterwards. We'll see. Fatboy gives us a checkerboard cave check. It is a full heart. We'll go ahead and pick that up.
And it looks like he'll take advantage of that, putting him on 8 hearts, tying him with Wayne, I believe, for the healthiest of our runners right now. And it looks like Cassidy Bones into Desert Palace now as well. Fat Boy's into Aegina's Cave. And here we go. Blaine is going to at least... Oh, we found the shovel.
That's interesting.
We got the hint
The
through the
shovel is underwater, so that's going to be... We've already seen the dam, so that's going to either be Zora or the catfish. Making one of those probably a big disappointment. Of course, unless the shovel leads to something, but always tough to get a fetch quest out of one of those fish.
Yeah, that's very true. It looks
the
like...
waterfall also underwater. That is true, Chad. Thank you.
Well, still, I would almost qualify the waterfall cave as part of Zora's domain, so...
Sure, but at least it doesn't cost 500 rupees.
That is
Sunken
true.
Chest and Swamp, also underwater. Fatboy gives us a hard reset after finding out that the Witch's Hut just offering a heart container for that mushroom. He's going to hold on to that mushroom to do fake powder.
Was actually gone into the top of Death Mountain, but it looks like that was just the quickest way to get out into the open and utilize the flute.
Yep. Fatboy is finally now doing those South Shore checks there. He's going to get a bottle. He's going to get his Cane of Samaria and Mini Moldorm Cave as well.
I guess the item in the dam could have been underwater as well, but...
that's true, but we already knew
we already
that wasn't
saw
nothing.
that, so we knew it wasn't a possibility. But Fat Boy is starting to do the checks that I think a lot of our other runners had done. As I got completely taken by surprise with Gus apologize for speaking over the Hylian national anthem there.
It's quite all right. Cassidy has finished off Desert Landmoss and has his second crystal now.
And it looks like a trip to Checkerboard Cave. Gus looks to be headed into Skull Woods now. And Fat Boy...
Cassidy noped out of Desert. Oh, that's interesting.
Really?
From the back, huh? Oh, I suppose, like, Fighter Sword Landmo isn't fun. But you get the Fire Rod, not much magic, I guess.
Hammer, Fire Rod. Gus seems to have found a secondary sword in Skull Woods there. It looks like he has the Master
Yep,
Sword.
looks like we had a Master Sword in Skull Woods. There's one of the items there. Oh, and the flippers were in Mimic Cave. It looked like Ether is required. That dip into Pendant TR absolutely necessary.
Oh.
That is a really good play by Blaine that really paid off for him. Well, let's say I don't know that it was a good play necessarily. Certainly in retrospect, it certainly worked out.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Works out for him now. Certainly, is he's going to be the first one of our runners to have the flippers there.
Well, Blaine's made a couple interesting route decisions, and this one definitely seems to have bore fruit for him. His initial call was rewarding him with an ice rod. So if Trinex has an item, this is just consolidating and doubling down on what would be like, how do you make a 200 IQ play like better?
Yeah, I mean, you see that early Samaria, early Fire Rod, early Ice Rod. It's certainly telegraphing that. But you can't always read that. And there's the bow in its vanilla location on Laser Bridge.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
That Blaine has found all of the items in Turtle Rock and has chosen not to continue forward. But my oh my, the flippers and the bow in Pendant Turtle Rock.
Is Blaine? I think Blaine is in go mode. Oh, he still needs the Master Sword.
Well, that won't take too long.
But we do have no mode here. Once he finds a second sword, he will be in go mode. He's as he activates his flute right here.
Well, as things stand right now, Eastern Palace is not an issue. Desert Palace is not an issue. Swamp Palace? I don't really think that's an issue.
No, he's got the flippers and the hook shot. He should be okay there.
Skull
yeah, no,
Woods.
really, he's just looking for that second sword. He's looking for a sword, and then that would be go mode for Blaine. So I think he is comfortably ahead at this point, I would say.
Well, if he just goes through his progression, he'll organically find it by Skull Woods.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a question of when he decides to go there.
Yeah, that's really going to be the issue for Blaine, because at least right now, from what we know, Blaine is just going out of his way at this point by checking anything that isn't...
Oh, and there were 2 swords in Skull Woods. Both of the Skull Woods items were swords.
Oh, wow. So it looks like Blaine is headed to Misery Mire now. We'll see what that gives him. He'll check the shed. I believe it was the Quake medallion that was on Desert Ledge.
Quake was on Desert Ledge, that's right. You know, the issue here, as Chaz pointing out, is like, when does Blaine make that decision to go into Skull Woods? And he took his Ether Medallion out. He is going to dive into Misery Mire here. It is a crystal dungeon. He can full clear it, so not the worst idea here.
No, it's definitely forwarding Blaine toward finishing the seed, which is exactly what I would want to do if I'm in this position. Hassity Moen in Skull Woods has now found a Master Sword, and we also see the location of the third sword as well. The Tempered Sword.
Yeah, now the question for Cassidy is, when is he going to make his way out to Ice Rod Cave? That is where Ether is, and it's absolutely necessary.
So, given we know what's in Skull Woods, can we actually declare Blaine as being in go mode, since we know that the thing that's stopping him is going to be found along the way?
I mean, he's in no mode. Like, he doesn't know. Like, we know that he'll find what he needs, but he is not in go mode yet because he's still going to be checking chests as he goes, right?
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Thelaine,
that is,
both
that is a
sword
fair
upgrades were in
point.
Skull.
That is definitely a fair point. So yeah, I guess Blaine is in what we would say no mode, because we know that Skull Woods has both the Master and Tempered Sword. So this basically all but rules out Zora's domain entirely. We don't need the catfish. We don't need Zora. The shovel we don't need. So there's really no point in going for the waterfall either now, is there?
No, there really isn't. Of course, our racers don't know that.
Well, that's the
There
benefit
is
of
the
being
big
able to watch
key
4
in
runners at once.
Misery Mire there.
It looks like Cassidy's delivered Jeremiah and rewarded with a piece of heart. We know the pegs is nothing of value. And it looks like Cassidy might go on an Uber Eats delivery side quest here.
Yeah, and that is too bad. We know that's not going to pay off for him. He's just going to find bombs in that chest. We got a hint for it.
I mean, at this point, if anybody's really speculating as to who's in the lead at this point, I would have to definitely say Blaine is, because of where he's at right now compared to the other 3 restreamed runners.
Yep, Blaine is still looking for a sword. We know, he doesn't, but we know that he's going to find 2 swords in Skull Woods. So the question is, the sooner he gets there, the better.
So this is...
That's true, and as Chap points out, he still could find that 4th sword somewhere, and it might be convenient. So we'll see what happens there as he is able to take down Vitreous and get his 2nd crystal.
Yeah, it would be his 3rd dungeon completed, but Tower of Hera, his 2nd dungeon completed, only rewarding him the green pendant, which we know is not entirely all that useful, because we know where everything he needs is right now. And here comes our
and he's going to pop over and take care of Desert right now as well.
So he saw a pendant on the ledge and just said, no thanks, not a sword, gotta go, bye.
Cassidy is going to get his ether medallion right there. He made his way out to Ice Rod Cave, so we'll see what he takes care of next. As Gus heads into Misery Mire, Fat Boy heads down into the basement.
Now, it'll be interesting in some way to see how Gus and or Fat Boy potentially find a way to protect their lead. Technically, with them being both on 3 pendants right now, they are ahead of Blaine, but it's kind of like, since I'm a big racing nut, it's like Blaine already made his pit stop and he's good to go the rest of the race, and Gus and Fat Boy still have a pit stop left to make in having to go into Turtle Rock to find the bow and the flippers.
That's true, but you got to think though, they're gonna finish up Misery Mire here in a minute. Without the bow, without the flippers, where are they going to head? It really comes down to, they've already got they got the fire rod. They don't have the ice rod yet. They haven't been over to Saha's closet, but you have to think that you're getting down to the point where maybe, Pendant Turtle Rock is your best play at that point. Blaine just made it way earlier than we expected.
It would not shock me if we see something like Azora's Domain play, because neither Gus nor Fatboy know what we know right now. So this is very interesting. Fatboy giving us Tempered Sword, Vitreous, whereas Blaine was able to just machine gun that thing down with silver arrows.
Blaine is going to go ahead and knock out Eastern Palace now. Pick up another crystal.
Now, somebody in chat is speculating they might do Eastern, but they won't be able to finish it because they won't be able to get to the Armos Knights, I believe, without the bow.
You can get there without the bow, but you obviously can't clear it. The flips were in Turtle Rock, as a matter of fact, not Palace of Darkness. So,
yeah, Turtle Rock is gating all of our restreamed runners not named Blaine right now. The flippers and the bow are both in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and points out somebody might dip into Independent TR, find the flippers, and nope out. And that would be extremely unfortunate if it happens.
Oh, yeah, that is very true. That would be absolutely awful if that happens. It looks like Fatboy is headed up there, though. He's just utilized the flute to head into Death Mountain, so it looks like Turtle Rock's going to be the play.
Does, and that is going to be the right play for Fatboy. As mentioned, he's going to find his flippers in Mimic Cave, and then the bow is on Laser Bridge, the fourth chest on Laser Bridge.
So this would definitely be unfortunate. And as much as I don't wish anything ill on a runner, now I do take delight in their pain. So, having something like a ped seed where it's like having to be blind pulled or something like that, I'm okay with this.
It certainly makes for good watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fatboy is going to head into Turtle Rock now, and we'll see what he gives us there. With Blaine about to pick up his big key in its vanilla location in Eastern, and he will make a beeline for the Armos Knights.
Yeah, Fatboy's unlocking Turtle Rock, so it looks like unless he's gonna debate us, no, he's going down, so it looks like he's going into Turtle Rock.
Oh, that was good. It never occurred to me that you could use that fake powder glitch anywhere except for the Magic Bat Cave. I don't know why it ever occurred to me, but Gus just did it down there in Misery Mire to powder a bunny beam and heal himself back up. That is that's a nice little play there. I like.
Well, that was interesting.
In retrospect, I have no idea why I would have thought that wouldn't work. Why wouldn't it work? It works in the one location. It ought to work everywhere. But there you go.
That's just one of those things where you don't really think about it. So it's just kind of like, oh, right, I could do that, but it never really occurred to me to actually do that.
Yeah, and in most locations, like, in most situations, you're going to want your magic bar full anyway. So I don't know, like it's definitely useful in niche spots. Good to keep an eye on, but not going to be something that you're going to do all the time, obviously.
No,
Blaine
absolutely
picks up
not.
his 4th crystal from Eastern Palace, takes out the flute, and he is headed out. Looks like he is going to head right down into Ice Palace.
Yeah, it looks like Gus is going to use the cape and just swing for the fences here.
Yeah, without the bow, I think that's the move. That's how I usually do it here.
Fat Boy pretty much tried the same thing, but I don't think he used the cape. He just kind of stood outside of the muck there and swung away. But depending on what Fat Boy does in Turtle Rock here, he might actually be able to come out ahead after finishing his little pit stop here.
He'll certainly be if he's able to pick that up. I think Blaine is still in the lead. He does have a fully cleared Eastern Palace there. It's going to depend on if Fat Boy goes all the way through Laser Bridge, whether Blaine heads into Left Side Swamp, for instance, and again, when is he going to get to Skull Woods or find that last sword upgrade? Still a lot going on here. I still have Blaine as the favorite here. Blaine probably would not go left side. That is probably true. But he made some weird and unconventional choices already. So you never know.
Yeah, that's really where we're at with Blaine is still looking for a sword. We know where 2 of the 3 remaining swords are. Fat Boy is looking for the bow and the flippers, which, if he sees this through to the end of the laser bridge, he will find both. I don't think Eastern Palace is really that much of a difference in time. Maybe
No, that's a pretty quick dungeon if you're go moding it. Regardless, really.
I mean, you basically have to go through Eastern Palace the whole way. There's no real skips that you can use. And it looks like Gus has made the unfortunate decision to go into Zora's domain. Although it looks like he may have just changed his mind. No, it
No,
looks
he's
like...
just struggling. Yeah, he's just struggling with the whirlpool. Fat Boy is about to pick up his flippers in Mimic Cave. Moment of truth for him. Oh no, he's got the flute out. Oh no, Fat Boy, no.
Don't do it! Don't do it!
Oh
Oh no!
no.
Oh no! Oh,
Oh no.
Fat Boy! Oh, he's changed his
He
mind.
changed his mind. He went into the oh that oh boy. That
Oh,
gave me a heart attack. He second guessed himself, and that was the right choice.
yeah, absolutely. Having the flippers will unlock. Let's see, that would unlock Swamp Palace for him, but it would not unlock everything else that he needs right now. And Fat Boy making the correct call and continuing through Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it would give him ice as well, but he still needs that bow. And unless Blaine rushes over to Skull Woods, it's looking like Fat Boy is gonna very well might be our first runner in Go mode. Blaine pulling off a very, very nice hammer kill of Cold Stare there, and as he picks up his 5th crystal.
Now, this is what's surprising. Blaine could still potentially run off and decide, oh, well, now I have to check some odd locations because I don't know where the sword is. And it looks like he's headed into Swamp Palace with where he's just fluted to.
Yep. Fat Boy is on Laser Bridge, picks up his red mail.
And Cassidy seems to be interested in that pendant, Palace of Darkness.
Unfortunately, that is not going to pay off for him. Fatboy's so close to his bow. He is going to smartly take that safety, blowing up that wall there to reset his entrance in Turtle Rock.
And he could just run in and
there it is.
yeah,
At 1 hour and 13 seconds, Fatboy 300 is our first runner in go mode as he picks up his bow. This race is down to Fatboy and Bwayne. We will see how fast Bwayne can get through Swamp Palace and up to Skull Woods, where he is going to find his swords. Or it's possible that he'll find that fourth sword here in Swamp as well.
Yeah, that fourth sword is still out there. I wouldn't completely discount Gus from being out of consideration just yet. I mean, he's definitely behind where Fatboy and Bwayne are, but I also feel that if Fatboy or Bwayne stumbled somewhere, which Fatboy probably won't, but Bwayne still could. You know, a little bit of execution sprinkled in, and Gus could make this a race still.
You know, we do have ourselves a race here. Make sure you give all these runners a follow on Twitch. Bwayne, Cassimo, and Gus, Fatboy are all putting on a heck of a show for you here today. A fun race here. We're going to see about an hour in. We have one of our runners in go mode. The other one looks like Bwayne is very close to go mode. He still needs a sword. He's going to find at least one of them in Skull Woods, but he's going to leave Skull Woods to the last possible second here. He is skipping chests in Swamp. Pretty as Magus of something points out in chat, it's possible that he's at this point assuming that all the other sword upgrades are in Ganon's Tower, which is not a bad assumption on his part, to be sure.
But now he's just picked up 2 chests, and I'm kind of confused about what Bwayne is thinking here.
That might just, like, these 3 chests in the back of Swamp might just be muscle memory, to be honest. Those chests are right quick, they're right on the way. Even if I were go moding Swamp, you know, or trying to get through it really as quickly as I possibly could, I'd still might check all those chests. It's really not too far out of your way.
This could be dangerous for Bwayne, even though we know it's not really all that dangerous, but Bwayne's gonna have to pause screen simulator this with Argus.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do the menu fight against Argus here. He still has just the fighter sword.
I mean, I know the possibility of any of those chests in Swamp actually being a sword is pretty low. I would still be concerned that they could be a sword, and in Bwayne's mind, I've just run right past potentially 2 or 3 chests that could have had items in them. Which, well, if one were the sword, that's a big problem.
That's absolutely true. It certainly could play out that way. I know I tend to be a bit of a conservative runner, so I tend to check those things when I can. As Bwayne, in one shot, takes down Argus with a silver arrow, gets a big 20 for his trouble. There's nothing between him and Skull Woods and those swords. He will be in go mode before too long. Bwayne still has about maybe a dungeon and a quarter. Two full dungeons on Fatboy as he has taken down. I guess it's one. Really, he's got Swamp and Ice finished, both that Fatboy have to do.
Yeah, go moding Swamp, that might take a bit. Fatboy's about to finish Eastern Palace, so he's just a couple seconds away from that. Having the silver arrows, our choreography with the Armos Knights is going to get ruined almost immediately. Maybe, what, 5 seconds for that fight?
Yeah, very quick. And also a similarly quick cold stare there for Gus with the fire rod. Very strong as he picks up a bottle for his trouble.
Now, see,
Yeah,
Gus
but
is going to
both
have the problem of being basically locked with not being able to go into. Well, I guess he could go into Swamp.
There is Bwayne's Master Sword at 1 hour and 5 minutes and some odd seconds. Bwayne is in go mode. He's got 1 crystal left. He's going to get his Tempered Sword. The other sword is on Mothula, and then he will be headed up into Ganon's tower.
Yeah, so at this point, Bwayne is very solidly in the lead. Fat Boy is definitely looking like in second, and now it's mostly between Gus and Cassidy Moan to see who ends up in Turtle Rock to pick up the flippers and the bow first.
Oh, Chad is saying that that other sword was in the map chest, not on Moth. I thought that it was on Moth.
No,
So,
it
I might have missed
was.
that.
They were both in chests. I remember seeing this tempered
okay, my
sword
bad.
being picked up.
So he probably will not go back in. Probably won't go back in and get that sword. So he's going to hope for a tempered sword headed up Ganon's tower. Or
So
maybe
it
not.
looks-
Maybe he'll just not do those checks, but he'll hope.
I think Bwayne is definitely good enough to handle a Master Sword Ganon.
I would think. Cass is headed up into a Turtle Rock. That's going to be a nice play for him. Gus still far away from there.
Oh, Fat Boy tried to unlock a door without a key. Just a couple seconds lost there going back to pick up the key. But is it time for us to play a game?
Looks that way. You can get your numbers in chat. It's the big key guessing game in Ganon's Tower. There are 22 odd locations there. Get your numbers into chat, and we shall see where that big key is for Bwayne now that he is headed up to the Big Pig's Tower. Frico, where do you think that big key is today?
Well, I think it is not in chest number 5 because I have always and forever started to guess chest number 5, and I will stick with it until the end of time, or I'm actually right. And so far, it looks like the end of time is going to be what I'm going to end up sticking on.
I always pick number 1. I want to see that the first chest there in Hope Room. That's what I usually look for. I had played a seed this morning where it was right there. It was very nice. Chat wants to see Tile Room, I am sure, but I want to be nice to these runners, and I want that Hope Room big key first chest is what I want to see.
Now, see, I usually want to see something like a Tile Room key, but, you know, I've got to stick to my guns. I said I'm gonna stick with chest number 5 until it finally comes in. It's like the lucky lottery numbers. You're always gonna play them, and, you know, disappointment aside, you know, from week to week, you see them come off, and nope, not it. I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment like that with number 5, and I apologize to anybody else who picked chest number 5 because, just like me, you're gonna be wrong.
Yeah. As a reset here, Bwayne in Ganon's Tower. Bwayne made a gamble. I don't know if it was a good decision, but it was certainly the right decision. Hopped into Pendant Turtle Rock early on, which had both the flippers in Mimic Cave and then the bow in its vanilla location on Laser Bridge there. So that is why he is far ahead. We've got a small key on Bob's Torch. That's number 1.
So it looks like we're not even going right side for Blaine. We're going left side to start.
Yeah, there goes my guess.
So here's number 2. Number 3.
2 is the map. 3 is a big 20.
Number 4.
4 is the book. And 5 is some bombs.
So another day, another dollar, another incorrect guess of number 5.
Oh. I refreshed my feed. Let's see, I was a little bit behind. My apologies.
It looks like we have 6 and 7 with nothing in either. And it looks like Cassidy took a death in Turtle Rock somewhere, unfortunately.
Yikes. Both Cassidy and Gus are in Turtle Rock now. Fat Boy heads into ice. But all eyes are on Blaine here. There is his sword upgrade. So he'll have the tempered sword as he heads up. Looks like he's gonna... Oh, he's gonna nope, back out. Head back over to the left side. That is 11 chests down, still looking for the big key.
10 and number 11, the heart.
Yep, there goes that sword advantage.
Yeah, Blaine picking up that tempered sword. I think it's the only thing Blaine could do now is find some way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory here, at least as it concerns our 4 restreamed runners. This is a daily race, however, so there's no guarantee that Blaine would finish first overall.
No, certainly not. But it's certainly at least among our 4 featured runners here on the Ream stream, this is definitely Blaine's race to lose. We shall see how it goes as he continues his way, searching through the basement of Ganon's Tower, looking for the big key. As he heads into Rando Room. That was 13 chests down. We'll get 14 through 17 here in Rando Room. So called, of course, because if you're playing vanilla, there's no reason to go into this room. You only need to go in if you're playing rando. There's half magic at 14, piece of heart for 15. The big key, there it is at 16. Picks up another small key, and he is headed up the tower. 16 is the number.
Looks like it may have gone unguessed by our gallery of contestants throwing out their numbers. I do not see a 16. So it looks like
I saw a 15 and a 17 there. So good job, Panda Man. Guessed 17. You were the closest without going over. Here on the big key is right.
Isn't 17 over 16? I'm confused.
Closest without going under, I guess.
So if it's your number and it's not there,
then I think you're out.
Chest gets picked.
That's why I always pick.
Okay.
That's another reason why I only pick one. You know, that way I know whether I've lost very quickly. I thought I saw 15, but maybe there wasn't one. That's fine. At any rate, nobody quite got it exactly right. Boyne makes quick work there of the Stalfos there as he heads into the gauntlet. Gus just picked up his flippers in Mimic Cave. As Cassidy Moen is about to head down into Laser Bridge.
And it looks like Gus choosing not to get debated here. And it looks like Cassidy Moen will pick up the bow, but Cassidy picked up the flippers yet?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. It's not on the. It's not marked on the tracker. I'm not sure if he went into Mimic Cave. I hope he did, for his sake.
Yeah, because I'm thinking this could be. Oh no. Cassidy might have. Oh, let's see what's in the inventory.
No, Cassidy did get his bow. And Cassidy does have the
Yeah,
flippers, so he's all
okay.
set.
So I definitely saw the bow. I just did not see the flippers, and I'm going, oh no. And yeah,
It looks like
definitely.
the tractor
the
software has fallen a little bit behind.
Yeah, it does take a little bit to update every once in a while, and with the stream being a little shaky as it is, it happens to update when there's lag. It'll just, no thanks. I can only presume Cassidy has red mail as well at this point.
Blaine having a little bit of trouble there in that anti-fairy room, the last room before Moldorm 2. Going for those dash strats.
So I saw Wayne practicing a bomb jump here earlier on. It doesn't look like he's going to go for it, though.
Nope. He's just going to take the safety. He's got to feel pretty good about where he is in this seed. Picks up the compass, steals it, takes it off of Moldorm 2's dead body. So rude. No, you certainly wouldn't do the bomb jump at that point.
Well,
Fat Boy is headed into Ganon's tower now as Blaine starts to sit down for his geometry test.
And so let's see. Let's see. That's one. Wayne got one hit in so far. Let's see. Ooh, that's a 0. That's not good. We're not off to a good start for Blaine here. Looks like 1, 2 hits.
There's a double, up to 3 there.
4, 5. Oh, that might have been a triple. No.
No, not quite.
Yeah, it didn't register as a triple, unfortunately, because
But
that last hit didn't register. And there's the 6th hit for Blaine.
This is going as he heads into the fight with the big pig himself. Not very much between Blaine and finishing this race with a really, really excellent. He's on pace for a really excellent time. We'll see how that goes for him as he heads into the Ganon fight.
And I believe it was, for those trying to keep track of the hits, it was a 1-0-2-2-1 for Blaine. So now you know what to set your luggage combination to.
Ooh, Blaine, with good reflexes there, was awfully close to taking that death. But he is already into phase 3 of this fight.
Yeah, I barely realized that Blaine was even going up against Ganon at this point. I was watching Cassidy Moan take on Argus. And, yeah, Blaine's one more hit away from the final phase of the Ganon fight. And no sooner does he start phase 4, but he gets a double right off the bat with Ganon camping out at the bottom, and then another quick double, and this should do it. Blaine, 1 3-pixel wide step away from victory here.
Yep, and he passes through that bridge. Blaine has finished first and first overall with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, 58 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Blaine.
Yeah, absolutely well done to Blaine. A lot of these choices definitely bringing about a potential new way of strategy into routing a Link to the Past run.
Now, I know that Wayne was having some audio trouble early on. I am not sure if he's going to be able to join us for an interview. That would be very nice, but if he can't, that is okay. Make sure you give him a follow there. Follow all of our runners, certainly, but Wayne just absolutely demolished this seed with a decision early on to go independent Turtle Rock, which was holding on to both the flippers, which were Mimic Cave, and the bow, which was on Laser Bridge. Really, really excellent run there by Dwayne.
Well, let's see. Fat Boy is roughly about halfway through the first, should we call it the first half of Ganon's Tower, finding the big key, and the second half ascending it. Cassidy Moan
Yeah, Fat
in
Boy's
Ice Palace
up into
now.
the gauntlet now.
And I believe Gus has just finished off Swamp, so it looks like he's going to mirror over to Eastern Palace. Well, it looks like Gus is gone into Eastern Palace now. Cassidy in Ice Palace. Oh, I just heard an intruder alert, so...
Yeah, we are joined by Bwayne, finishing first overall in the race. GG, Bwayne.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks.
That was a heck of a race, and it really paid off for you. Headed into Pendant Turtle Rock early. You were by far the first runner to do that. What made you make that decision?
You know, of all the dungeons that we had access to, there weren't many besides Skull that we could really go clear, or at least I could at that point. We were potentially 2 items from Go, but there wasn't like a ton of great stuff, and I didn't mirror and getting flute and getting pulled away. But given we had Fire Eye, we had Ice Rod even, Trinix didn't have to go down, but had the cane, had exactly Ether, so it felt safer to not gamble and leave T-Rock up there, and it would have been the only thing left. I mean, I'd already done Hera, and I did Hera for no reason, I guess, so why not also go into T-Rock? It just feels like a little bit of a gamble to leave there to go do like just 1 dungeon, and then all I've got is pieces of dungeons that I can do.
No, that's true. I think based on where you were, what you had already done, and having the items that you had, it certainly made sense there. Were you tempted at all to nope out after finding the flippers in Mimic Cave?
Definitely, but the fact that I didn't have any swords, I was like, I don't want to leave a sword on Laser Bridge, and the item could be on Laser Bridge anyway. Also felt pretty good. Hey, this is the right play. I got flippers, so I can't lose too much time if I go to Laser Bridge here. I didn't think that's where Bo was going to be. I thought best case scenario I'd get a sword out of it, but you know, there's at least 3 items still in there at that point, so you've come halfway through the dungeon. I might as well finish. I thought about it for like a second, but maybe if I'd had all the swords, I could have made that play, but I didn't feel super comfortable still on Fighter Sword.
No, that makes sense. I don't know what you're talking about. That's Bow and Laser Bridge is vanilla.
Basically, I mean, you look up and you see, hey, I'm still missing Bow. I wonder where it is. Oh, I can get in T-Rock. Oh, I better go there.
As we see Fat Boy heading into his Aga 2 fight. He'll be right behind you.
Now, Blaine, can you help me out a little bit? In the decisions you made early on were different to what I think I'm used to seeing. Was there a conscious decision to just kind of say, all right, I'm going to route it this way and
Well,
just
early
see
on,
what happens? Or
like you're talking Kakariko
yes,
in this one.
yes, you did.
When the seed lets you, you're gonna clear in the course of the average seed. You're gonna clear a lot of Sphere 1 eventually. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. So when the seed lets me do Sphere 1 stuff pre-Kakariko, I could maybe get a bottle, I could maybe get flute, I could maybe end up with Dark World access in Kakariko, and then I can just walk into the portal. I'm not going to go crazily out of my way to delay it, but if I can do the South Shore reasonably, if I can go over to Sahasrara and get those 3 items, if I pick up flute and only have to make 1 trip to Kakariko, that's a pretty good payoff most of the time. And those are all spots that eventually you're gonna do. You're gonna check Sahasrara, you're gonna check Agina in 95% of seeds. You're gonna do the South Shore stuff. You're gonna check Ice Rod Cave. So you're not really. Maybe in some seeds you end up losing a little bit of efficiency. Hey, if you delay boots and they're in Kakariko, if you don't get flute was sitting in Kakariko, and you kind of get punished a little bit there. But you don't end up losing tons of time. So
Yeah,
I
it's
just
not like you're never gonna make those checks. That makes
yeah,
sense.
exactly. It's not wrong to go to Kakariko first either. I mean, I think it's probably over the course of 1,000 seeds, you're probably going to see pretty much no advantage to either strategy. But if the seed lets me do some stuff before Kakariko efficiently, I'm going to take that opportunity most times.
Yeah, and certainly like when you're as Fatboy gets his torch glitches headed into the final phase of the Ganon fight, that double right off the bat. It really looks like you're going to, in a race like this, there's an advantage maybe to be doing some things that not everybody else is doing, as we saw with your Turtle Rock play as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a consideration. Sometimes you want to be playing more along the meta if you don't want to say, hey, I know everybody's going to do this, therefore I will also do this so I don't fall behind here. Or you can say, I know everybody's going to do this and I'm going to do something else to maybe gain a bit of an advantage. That can vary depending on, whatever mood you're in, or depending on, late in the seed, do you think things have gone well or do you think things have not gone well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, sorry to interrupt. Get your GGs in chat for Fatboy. Fatboy Ball 300 finishes in 2nd place overall with an official SRL time. GG to Fatboy there.
Yeah, that was a very well done run by Fatboy as well. Looks like it was about a 15-minute improvement almost over his previous best time. So definitely some of that may be accredited to the seed. But we can see how difficult it could have been with Cassidy and Gus just now really starting into Ganon's Tower. 10 minutes behind Bwayne at this point. Probably maybe about 15 or so by the time they finish this all off.
Also, just an update for the rest of our racers. SAGTG has finished in 3rd place with an official time of 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 15 seconds.
So while we have you in here, Bwayne, do you have anything else you want to maybe mention? Because I think we're gonna have Fatboy join us in the near future. So
I rolled this seed, so clearly I have to roll more seeds. That's the key.
oh, I no wonder you knew what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the one
right?
who made the seed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna enter that command a lot more apparently now that I know that this can happen.
We are joined by Fatboy 300. GG, Fatboy.
Gee, guys, thank you so much. That was quite the seed.
Yeah, it was. Wayne ended up paying off. Went into that pendant TR earlier than Just Boy. just about anybody. And so it was a very that was the play, and it's not necessarily going to be everybody's first choice there.
No, once I found the ice rod, I believe it was behind Sarashaha, and that gave me the ability to full clear it. I'm like, this is my fourth pendant turtle rock seed in a row, and
Oh no!
I did the daily yesterday, and that had the fluid in it, but the two before that never had anything in it. I'm like, I'm just gonna go check it out. It's got to have something. It's pendant turtle rock. I have everything to clear it. It's got to have something. And then I went in there, found the flippers, and almost left, but I thought back to my seed last night where I found the bow in Ice Palace and left early and ended up having to go back to get the fire rod for go mode off of Cold Stairs. I'm like, no, we're just gonna clear everything out here, and sure enough, there's the bow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We were watching you make that decision and get the flute out when we were in chat screaming, no, keep going. So that gave me a heart attack getting that flute out right there.
Yeah, it's I'm still shaking a little bit from the seed because I'm just I don't consider myself the best runner by any means, so getting a second place only to Boyne, which by the way, GG Boyne, I'm a little speechless right now.
Yeah, GG to you too, dude. This was not, even though my time was fast, this was not a really easy seed to get a fast time on. I got pretty lucky. So you made some good decisions for sure. Getting that time on any seed, really, like sub 130 is kind of a real gold standard. Doesn't matter what seed you play.
Yeah, it's only like my second or third sub 130, and it's my first in probably 9 or 10 months, so.
I got to get lucky to get sub 2 hours, so I'm always impressed.
I am of the war games strategy. The only way to win is not to play. I just end up raging so hard when I try to go through a randomizer because I overlook something and it's just ugh.
We see Cassidy has made it up to the top of the gauntlet. He is about to head into the Lanmo 2 fight. Gus not too far behind him, just a couple rooms.
Anyway, guys, you got a race to finish up here, Colin. But thanks for the interview. I'm gonna step out and eat some lunch because I've been streaming for a while. But GG's Fat Boy. Thanks, guys, for the commentary. Everybody who watched, everybody behind the scenes. I know this was kind of a fire drill to get this restream up and going towards the end there. But appreciate it. I'm gonna watch it back. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun listening to you guys. And everybody have a good day.
Thanks a lot, Boyne. GG. Well, enjoy that lunch.
Well done on the overall victory today, Boyne.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Also, I want to apologize for I'm sure my stream was a slideshow at some points during the timer. I think it even went down once or twice. I found out that our internet company is somewhere in the neighborhood working on some lines and whatnot, so.
Yeah, well, that'll happen. No worries.
Slideshow mode happens every once in a while.
One day I actually decided to race in the afternoon daily. It's like when the internet's gotta be doing things.
Our old friend Murphy raising his ugly head. I think the only thing that really we missed you picking up the boots, and we weren't sure whether you had cleared Thieves Town for a little while, but we figured it out.
Yeah, I didn't have sword at the time, so I'm like, I could try to do hammer strap, but I'm not really practiced on that, so I'm like, I can always come back. It's not too hard to get to.
Yeah, if you're gonna like do a double dip to beat the boss on a dungeon, Thieves Town, very much like not the worst one to do that on. I ended up having to do that a lot.
I've always considered those first four as just basically overworld checks. It's easy just to pop in there, check them, pop out, and come back later.
Yep, absolutely. Cassidy has finished his climb up Ganon's tower, and
Yeah,
is
it looks
headed
like
into the
time
Aga
to
2 fight.
be
Gus
on.
had a little trouble with that bomb, but he's through it now. He's frustrated though. He's just he's trying to get the anti-fairy out, so he can fake powder it. Oh, very good.
Yeah, another fake powder on their way. And let's see if we... No fake powder. It looks like... gonna have to do it. No, looks like giving up on the fake powder. So this could be interesting for
Oh
Gus.
no, he turned in the mushroom and had forgot. That's what it was.
Yeah, that definitely makes it a little difficult when there's no item in there.
Well, thank you guys for doing the restream. And like Boyan said, I know it was kind of a little bit last minute things. But I am going to hop out of here. So you guys have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, you too. Well
No worries.
done
Thanks
on,
again, and GG, Fat Boy.
GG. Thank you.
We just saw that Hitzion 1337 finished in 4th place overall, the time of 1:34:53. So GG to Hitsu.
Yeah, Cassidy Moan, for all of the trouble that they've gone through so far in this seed, might still be able to snag a top 5 position. This is very interesting. Looks like the
it's
tape's
interesting,
coming out.
like that pendant turtle rock. If you're gonna put that off, it could really very easily hurt you big time in a seed like this. As Gus is forced to pull out the magic cape against Aga 2, just to survive the fight. Gets 2 doubles right there. Cassidy already into phase 3 with Ganon.
Oh, that was
we have another finisher here. AK Drizzt has finished in 5th place at the time of 1:37:18. GG to Drizzt. Gus finished up the Aga 2 fight. Cassidy just misses the torch glitch, but he should be fine. And there is just misses the triple. And that should be it. Cassidy takes down Ganon.
And it looks like Gus is making pretty good headway here in the first phase, but this is going to be very difficult. I don't believe Gus has any bottles that are filled with anything. I'm not even sure if Gus can finish this. He'll have to light the torch at least twice. And I don't know if he can do that with the amount of magic that he has left to use the lamp with.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough finish here for Gus. Let's see how it turns out.
And oh no, he can't get the glitch now with this is just. Oh, he had enough. And he gets it. Well done.
Well done to Gus. They're very tight Ganon fight at the end.
And that will do it for Gus. Through all of that, he's our 7th place finisher, 1 hour, 38 minutes, 46 seconds. So our 4 restreamed runners taking the top 7 places, scattered about, with Bwayne and Fat Boy being 1st and 2nd, I believe, and Cassidy Moan and Gus being 6th and 7th.
Yeah, our restreamed runners here, our featured runners, gave you a really great show here on a Thursday afternoon. Make sure you give them all a follow on Twitch. Those links should be in the chat. Give my co-commentator Frico a follow as well as our trackers, Relkin and Edgeworth.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely worth mentioning our unsung heroes, the trackers. Relkin and Edgeworth stepping up on very short notice to fill up everything here and get this restream up and going. It was a little late today, but I think given what we saw, it was definitely worth the wait.
Yeah, absolutely. That was certainly a fun one to watch, fun one to talk about as it was happening. I hope you all watching had a good time as well.
Now, I don't know if we're up against it time-wise. I'll take a look real quick, but being that it's 4 o'clock, I don't know if we have to give way to anything else. I'll poke my head into the schedule right quick to see what's coming up next. Let's see. Oh, no, we do have a little bit of time before it looks like we have a Super Metroid tournament coming up at 5:30, which will be on Speed Gaming, and then we have ourselves a little bit of action coming up at 7 o'clock. We have Overworld Glitches. It looks like a tournament race. Liam Atlas versus Oasis 28. And Glan versus Obscure Lifeform. As well as a Prodigy tournament for Super Metroid. It looks like that might be teams of 2 runners. I'm not entirely sure. I've not been following that particular tournament, so anyone who's more well-versed in that would know maybe a little bit more than I do.
Yeah, no, I haven't been following that as well. But there is all sorts of great content for you today on the Speed Gaming family of networks, as there is every day. Looks like we don't. Cassidy was not able to join us for an interview. We haven't seen Gus either. So probably 2 1v1s there from Ms. Metroid in chat. Thank you very much. So I think it's probably safe to sign off here, Frico. Thanks for joining us here on the commentary.
Before we sign off, let's give a couple more people their due. Humbug
absolutely.
is our 8th place finisher with a time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 40 seconds. And it looks like Simo is our 9th place finisher, 1:41:56. So I think that's everybody that is finished so far. And it looks like we've just had an intruder alarm go off. I believe
we are.
Gus has joined us in the last second here.
Yeah, GG, Gus.
Hey guys, thank you.
So what do you
How was that for you, Gus?
Well, I really wish I had some magic when I first went up Death Mountain, but yeah, otherwise than that, I guess it was alright.
Not having the magic is what kept you from jumping into TR right away? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I didn't check what medallion it was, but I mean, even if I did, I wouldn't have been able to enter it. So yeah, that's really why I didn't go in there. Kind of why I did.
That is tough. That is a tough beat there.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta hope that even if you were there, you wanted to make the right play, you weren't able to, and then it took you a while to get back there, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, since I had been up there already, I kind of put Turtle Rock away for as long as I could until I realized that, well, it was either going to be double dipping like Harden, EP, or head back up there. So that's what I did.
Did you give any thought to noping out after finding the flippers in there, or were you always going to head on to Laser Bridge and clear as much of it as you could?
I probably would have, because you kind of want to be done, not having to like backtrack. Just it's kind of annoying if you have to go all the way like to the back of laser blades just to grab one item.
No, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. I hope I would have made the same call.
It was definitely a trap that I can only assume somebody had to fall into, where you see the flippers and you go, yeah, that's what I need to get into Swamp and Ice Palace. I'm out. Only to turn around and find the bow is just a little bit further along the way in Turtle.
Yeah, it's really easy to fall into those traps, as to say. You kind of have to just stay on course, I guess, and not just get overly excited every time you find like a progression item.
Yeah, the advice that I've seen is like make the calls that, if they work out, would be the best case scenario. You know, so you plow through. I guess I'm not sure if that really applies in that instance, but you know, it's like you never. I do tend to end up on the side of clearing stuff. And not wanting to have to double dip into dungeons, certainly pendant dungeons, if I don't have to. So I'd rather full clear the whole thing. The same reason of why I usually end up doing left side swamp.
Yeah.
Oh, is there anything else that really stuck out to you, Gus, in the way of anything that you might have either regretted doing or went, oh, that was really, looking back, a really good decision in the way you went about this seed?
Not really. I guess maybe not going into Galwoods, even though I didn't have any swords. I mean, there were 2 swords there, so that would have been a good decision to do, of course. But at that point, you kind of want to possibly skip that first section if you can. But without any sword, you don't really have a choice, even if you have the fire rod.
Yeah, I actually overlooked that during the live portion, because I figured, oh yeah, well, they have the fire rod, they can burn down the entryway into the final segment, and then I kind of forgot that there weren't any swords, but you found one along the way, which made things interesting. There's so many different things that come up in the way of how things can be routed, just absolutely baffle me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give you props on the way that you finished that seed. I saw you in that last room before Moldorm 2 in Ganon's tower. It seemed like you realized that you had turned in the mushroom and so could not fake powder that anti-fairy, and then ended up plowing through the rest of the game basically without a hit and without much safety at all. And it was a really, really well executed there at the end.
Yeah, the cape really helped out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And half magic.
Yeah, I was seriously concerned that you were going to run out of magic, but I did not know that you had that green potion, at least, hiding in the second potion slot.
Yeah, I had that since Cold Stare, I believe, so I wasn't super worried about the magic, which was the reason why I was kind of careless about it.
That was hiding in the menus, so we didn't see it right away. But that definitely explains, your willingness to pull out the cape in the Aga 2 fight. That certainly makes a lot more sense now. I thought it was just ballsy, but it looks like it was ballsy, certainly. But it wasn't just that. You had all the resources you needed.
Yeah, I would even if I didn't have the green potion, I would probably use cape, because you got 2 hearts left. You really don't want to die at Aga, and it's so easy to die at Aga if you get really unlucky.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd rather, sucks to die on Ganon, but it sucks a lot more to just have one slip and die on Aga 2 and have to climb all the way back up the tower. I can see why you would want to avoid that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Knowing what you knew, because when you opened the inventory, all I could see was an empty bottle and I kind of going in the back of my head, oh no, he's going to run out of magic between the Aghanim and Ganon fight. And it worked out, but it looked a lot riskier than it actually was.
Well, you know about the grabbing the wall, blitz or bug or whatever you should call it, where you don't drain magic when you got the cape.
Yeah, I make extensive use of that in my runs, certainly.
Yeah, that's a really useful trick. So it can be, especially if you don't have like something like half magic, because otherwise that magic bar just drains really fast.
Yeah, that is true. So, all right. So, if anybody's still here and not particularly sure what you mean, you activate the cape and then you just grab the wall?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I mean, just in case there, somebody who may be wanting to run the seed, get a little nugget of information for a beginner that wants to learn. Because there was something I wanted to ask Wayne about, because I think he referenced a first sphere. I know what he means, but a beginning runner that may have just seen this maybe for the first time may not entirely know what he's referring to. So I guess it's just better to clarify for the sake of a beginning runner not going, oh, well, I don't have the, I don't know what this means. The barrier of entry is too high.
No, you're absolutely right. As someone who is relatively new to the community, I always appreciate it on streams when people explain things like that. It's been really helpful for kind of getting me into it and the improvement that I've had so far. The other nice thing with the cape is that if you mash the sword button, it will drain magic a lot slower as well, which I put to great use. The two places where that really shines is against the Vitreous fight if you don't have the silver arrows, and in Ganon, usually in phase 1 or 2, if he's up against the wall there, and you can get into that god pixel, right, where you can hit it with the sword and it's not going to move you to one side or the other. You can just throw on the cape and mash your sword button and really save a lot of magic that way and get through that fight a lot safer.
And it's all good little nuggets of knowledge to know going forward with how the items interact and can potentially interact in ways that you don't really know. I think it was you, Gus, that used a fake powder in Turtle Rock, and I think that's why you tried the fake powder again in Ganon's Tower?
Yes, it was in Mr. Meyer before the cellar, what did you call it, with the two anti-fairies and the Wizard. And I used it. I was gonna go for one of the fairies, but they were just flying all over the room. So then I kind of realized that there is one of those bunny beams or whatever they're called. So I just used it on that instead, which turned out to be much easier.
Yeah, just for all the time that I've been involved with doing the commentary, it never thought, the thought never crossed my mind, oh, you can use fake powder in places other than the bat.
Yeah, it's really overlooked. It's really easy to overlook that, and it's not something I have personally used like a lot, because you don't really think of it. You're just kind of like associating with the bat cave.
Yeah. Today I learned for sure on that one, so thanks for that.
As did I. So, all right, I think that's about everything. Is there anything else you want to say, Gus? The floor is yours.
Not really. I guess thanks to you guys for your commentary, and also to the tracker and the stream. And all the people who have watched. I hope you enjoyed it.
I know I did, and thanks for your part in that, Gus. GG.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we have our 10th place finisher. Coride has finished in 10th place, 1 hour, 52 minutes, 51 seconds. And I think on that note, with all of our interviews done, ready to wrap it up?
Yes, sir. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Frico, for hopping on the comms. Fun talking about this with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Since it is the middle of the afternoon for me, trying to say good night would not entirely be appropriate. So have a good rest of the day, everybody.
You too, and GG once again to all of our runners. Make sure, if anybody's still listening out there, make sure you give them all a follow on Twitch and join us again for another daily race here on the Speed Gaming family of networks and all the fantastic content that we have coming up the rest of the day. Thanks, everybody.